Gary Whittaker from The Weigh In on FightWorld.tv, and of course I'm here with none other than Nabil the Thrill Khatib. You know what? I was watching some videos the other day, and I happened to catch an interview with former UFC Mark Holtz, former UFC two-time UFC veteran Mark Holtz, and I heard him call out a challenge. I heard him call a challenge to you. So of course I had to say, Nabil, what's up? So I don't know if you want to get straight into it or.
I'll go around.
Okay, so what's your thoughts first of all when you first heard about that? Like Mark Holtz, a year or two later was calling you out.
Well, you know, I was actually, there was a bunch of things going on in my head. Number one, I was excited that he's finally going to do this rematch. Number two, I was wondering why he wanted to do it. Number three, I thought about where the event would be held. And so all these things were going through my head, but no matter what, I'm taking the rematch. I'm taking the rematch, no matter where they put it, at Rec MMA or, wherever they want to do it. I definitely want to do it. So the rematch is going to happen.
Okay, but see, here's a problem, right? As someone that's kind of business inclined, you kind of just reduce your bargaining power by saying you're going, because that means that they can pay you anything and have it anywhere. No?
Hell no. It all depends. It all depends which show. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, we have to make sure the weight's going to be at the right weight, right? Because they are. When we fought at the end of the fight, I asked for a rematch, and afterwards they were saying something about I have to beat some Gracie guy first, and then I'd get the rematch. Or they said they would do it at 155, which I know I would never do. Yeah. So those are the terms, right? I have to be at my weight class, which is 170. I can't make it I used to be 185, so there's no way I can make 155, and he already knows he can do 170.
So officially right now, you're ready to take him on. You're ready to take on Mark Holtz to get revenge, redemption for that match. Much ado was made out of what came from the match, not just how that match ended, but how the night ended as well. That apparently is still making the papers about you calling out someone's mama. What kind of mama jokes are going on right now?
Man, I don't know, but everybody that knows me knows I would never say anything about anybody's mama. Number one. What the reference to is that after the fight, apparently I challenged him to a rematch politely, if I remember correctly, because I don't, I'm not a jerk that way. Apparently, I challenged him to a rematch, and the way Pat Cooligan puts it, in front of his elderly mother. Okay, why would you bring your elderly mother to an MMA fight? It doesn't make sense. But I was polite about it anyway, and I said, we should have a rematch because I said, this is not right. That there was an early stoppage, etc. And it's not redemption. It's not a. I'm not trying to get back at him. I have nothing against Mark Holtz at all, and I've told him that to his face. It's just the way the fight was stopped, and it's a redemption for myself because I didn't put my best foot forward that fight. I was too laid back, too relaxed, and he hit me with a knee, knocked me down for sure. But I got back up and I was ready to go again. So I think it was just an early stoppage.
Now, honestly, we're having some fun here. I mean, it's MMA. It's a little bit of a game, if you will. So we're having some fun and joking around with Mark Holtz. But one thing that you told me off camera, and I think we should bring it up now. That you said just now that you had nothing but respect for Mark Holtz. In fact, there was a recent interview that you had conducted, and you actually had literally nothing bad to say. You actually named him, if I understand this correctly, as one of the better rising prospects coming out of Ottawa.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, CTV was at my club. We were talking about the Special Olympics that we work with. They were talking about upcoming fighters, and he asked me, the CTV News anchor Terry Marcotte asked me if there's going to be any big fighters coming out of Ottawa. I said, well, Mark Holtz fought for UFC, so you can't get any bigger than that. So I have no problem with Mark Holtz at all. He's a good fighter. I just think that my fight was stopped too early, and I gave him too much respect. In the ring, and I think the next time I'm just gonna put my best foot forward and push as hard as I can. And I tell you what, if he beats me fair and square, if I tap out, if I get knocked out, or if we go to the decision and he wins the fight, I'll shake his hand and I'll congratulate him. Simple as that. Any fight I've ever lost, I've had my losses. I never complained about them. What are you gonna do?
Okay, enough of the nice guy stuff, because now we'll get back to a little bit of promotion stuff, if you will. I do have to ask you this one question, though. Is it because, the Mark Holtz camp was adamant that absolutely knocked out. I mean, they were sending pictures out saying, look at this angle, you were knocked out. If I want to take for a second, let's say play devil's advocate, is it possible that because there was the shot, you got like a flash knockdown, if you will. We've already seen in MMA or in combat sports, for that example, that sometimes the ground wakes people up and they don't don't even remember necessarily being knocked out. Do you think that's a possibility that happened to you at all? Or are you adamant, 100%, you were not knocked out, it was a bad call by the ref, period?
I guarantee you I was knocked down. Flash knockout. I remember hitting the ground and jumping back up. I know he tried to lock a choke. I remember that clear as day. And I remember him stopping me or stopping him and standing up. And in my mind, the round was over. Or then he tell me the fight's done. So I had no idea. That's why if you look at the video, I'm looking at him. I had no idea why he's stopping it. So so anyway, if you look back at the video, at first they said it was because of a rear naked choke. That's what they said on Sherdog, and that's what the referee called it, rear naked choke. But I didn't tap. Why would the referee stop it if I didn't tap? His legs were not wrapped around me. The referee stopped it just before his legs came around me. Maybe he would have choked me out. I have no idea. But they didn't let the ref, let it go on to figure it out. That's all I'm saying.
And for you, what does this match mean? I mean, you took care of business in terms of Shoney Carter, arguably sent him to retirement, wore his hat afterwards. If you take care of business against UFC veteran now, Mark Holtz, are you looking at this as a stepping stage for yourself to get back to the UFC? Or are you happy to kind of do stuff on the local circuit and do things, promote, your gym, T. Bushido, and all the great stuff that you're doing for the community?
Well, I'll tell you what, beating Mark Holtz will I don't look at that as a stepping stone to getting UFC. Getting to UFC is a whole different ball game. Just fighting Mark Holtz and beating Mark Holtz is a personal goal. That's all it is. Because I know that I didn't put my best foot forward in that fight. That's all it is. To go back and actually put in a good fight, make a good show, and then do the best I can in the fight, whether I win or lose, doesn't matter. So as far as getting the UFC, I think it's a whole different ball game. I have to, build my way up to that, and I think even if I beat Mark Holtz, it's not going to get me in the UFC. Okay,
so last question. For a fact that Mark Holtz and Pat Cooligan are going. What does that mean? I don't know they know what that means. Sure. For a fact that those guys are watching this video right now. Do you have a message to them, and then also to your fans out there for the thrill?
Man, I don't know. You guys just do your thing, man. Have a good club, have a good show. Just invite people and just have a good show, have a good, fair show. And that's all I want to say. And for us, we're very respectful of everybody, and I hope that we can, bring up as many professional and respectable fighters as possible. Team Bushido has been doing that, and we're going to keep on doing that. And that's all I got to say.
Come on, man, give us something. Give us a punk.
What do you want? Come on, punk. You want to do this? Let's do it now. No, I'm not into that.
All right. You know what? This is Nabil the Thrill Khatib. You know who this man is. How can fans reach you and contact you to give you support? Because this is going to be a huge matchup. There's going to be tons of people wanting to get in touch with you also for this particular matchup. I want to give them right now a shot for them. How do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can go to our website at teambushido.com, or if you want to go to ottawagetsfit.com, send us an email there, info@teambushido, etc. You'll definitely get us there. We get tons of email from people. A lot of people are inquiring about our programs. So if you're inquiring about our fight coming up, definitely ask us on that email.
All right, that's Nabil the Thrill Khatib here at TriStar Gym talking about Mark Holtz.